Your self-doubt has been trying to tell you something important, but you've been too busy fighting it to listen. What if the very thing you've been treating as your enemy contains the exact message you need to hear? I'm about to show you 3 case studies of successful people who were once completely immobilized by self-doubt. You'll see the exact moment each one stopped battling their uncertainty and instead decoded its message, and how this counterintuitive approach created breakthrough results where years of traditional confidence building had failed. What if I told you that the voice in your head telling you you're not good enough is actually trying to save your life? This might sound counterintuitive, but this revelation transformed how Sarah, a brilliant software engineer, approached her crippling uncertainty. Sarah was the definition of hidden talent. She built impressive projects that sat quietly on her hard drive, never seeing the light of day. Despite her technical prowess, she couldn't bring herself to launch anything publicly. For years, she interpreted her self-doubt as a fundamental character flaw, something she needed to overcome through more confidence building exercises, positive affirmations, and pure willpower. I tried everything Sarah told me during our first conversation: therapy, mindfulness meditation, journaling about my strengths, getting validation from colleagues who respected my work. Nothing helped. Whenever it came time to hit that publish button or present my work to others, I'd freeze completely. The traditional advice to push through fear only intensified her anxiety. Each attempt to force herself past the barrier of doubt created more resistance, not less. The harder she pushed, the stronger her self-doubt pushed back, creating a frustrating cycle that left her exhausted and demoralized. Sarah's breakthrough came when she stopped treating her self-doubt as an enemy to vanquish and instead approached it with genuine curiosity. She began documenting the exact thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors that emerged in moments of doubt. This process wasn't about overcoming the doubt, but understanding it at a deeper level. The patterns she uncovered were revealing. Her self-doubt wasn't random or malicious. It followed predictable triggers connected to specific childhood experiences where she was publicly humiliated for making mistakes. In 3rd grade, a teacher had mocked her spelling error in front of the class. In high school, she presented a science project that was criticized harshly by judges while her peers watched. Sarah's self-doubt wasn't trying to sabotage her success. It was acting as a sophisticated protection system designed to prevent her from experiencing that same pain again. It wasn't her enemy, it was a misguided protector desperately trying to keep her safe from perceived social threats and potential humiliation. This realization led to the first technique in our system, doubt decoding. Instead of fighting her doubt, Sarah learned to ask it directly. What are you trying to protect me from? This question opened an internal dialogue that revealed the true message behind her uncertainty. Her doubt wasn't saying, "You're not good enough." It was saying, "I'm trying to prevent you from feeling rejected and humiliated." The systems approach revealed something even more profound. Sarah's doubt activated most strongly when she feared judgment from authority figures or experts in her field. Once she identified this pattern, she could distinguish between genuine warning signals, like actual flaws in her code that needed fixing, and outdated protective mechanisms, the paralyzing fear of any public criticism. When Sarah recognized her self-doubt as a misguided protector rather than an enemy, she stopped wasting energy fighting it. Instead, she developed a collaborative relationship with her doubt, acknowledging its concerns while gently redirecting its protective energy. "I started treating my doubt like an overprotective friend," she explained. "I'd thank it for trying to keep me safe, then explain that I was prepared to handle whatever criticism might come." This wasn't about eliminating doubt, but transforming her relationship with it. Sarah began engaging with her uncertainty constructively, using it as feedback rather than treating it as an obstacle. When doubt arose, she documented it, decode its message, and use that insight to improve her work before sharing it. The results were remarkable. Within 6 months, Sarah launched 3 public projects that had previously been collecting dust on her hard drive for years. One became a popular open source tool with hundreds of contributors. Her doubt didn't disappear. It transformed into a valuable ally that helped her identify blind spots in her work before releasing it. Every time you admire someone else's work and think, I'll never be that good, you're not just having a thought, you're actively rewiring your brain to make doubt your default identity. This isn't merely negative thinking. It's a sophisticated neurological process that creates what neuroscientists call identity homeostasis, a powerful tendency to maintain a consistent self-concept, even when that self-concept keeps you creatively paralyzed. Let me introduce you to Marcus, a fiction writer who spent 8 years crafting a novel he couldn't bring himself to submit to publishers. His apartment was filled with 15 different versions of his manuscript, each one revised endlessly as he compared his work to authors he admired. Every time I read Cormac McCarthy or Donna Tartt, Marcus told me, I'd go back to my manuscript and see nothing but flaws. I'd revise entire chapters, sometimes starting from scratch. Marcus wasn't lacking in discipline. He attended prestigious writing workshops, joined accountability groups, and even hired a professional editor. Yet none of these external solutions addressed the fundamental problem. Every time Marcus opened a book by one of his literary heroes, he unconsciously reinforced what I call the comparison doubt cycle. Each brilliant passage he read didn't just inspire him, it became evidence in the ongoing trial against his own creative worth. When I first analyzed Marcus's situation, I noticed something that traditional creative advice completely misses. His problem wasn't self-doubt as an occasional visitor. It was self-doubt as the foundation of his writerly identity. Think about it. If you've practiced comparing yourself unfavorably to others for years, your brain has literally become efficient at producing doubt. It's not a failure of confidence. It's a success at maintaining the identity you've unknowingly constructed. The breakthrough for Marcus came during a particularly frustrating revision session. I realized I wasn't just doubting this specific chapter, he said. I was experiencing my entire relationship with writing through the lens of doubt. It wasn't just about the words on the page. It was about who I believed I was as a writer. This insight revealed that Marcus wasn't failing to eliminate self-doubt. He was succeeding at maintaining an identity built around it. His brain had become exceptionally good at producing doubt because he had practiced this response pattern for years. Every comparison to his literary heroes strengthened neural pathways that made doubt his default state. This wasn't a character flaw, it was a predictable outcome of repeatedly focusing on the gap between his work and the polished books on his shelf. This realization led to the second technique in our system, identity recalibration, instead of trying to become more confident. Reinforces the identity of someone who lacks confidence. Marcus needed to stop identifying as a writer plagued by doubt and begin experimenting with a new identity, a writer who uses uncertainty as creative fuel. The implementation was radical but straightforward. For 30 days, Marcus banned all comparisons to other writers. This wasn't just about avoiding discouragement, it was about preventing the reinforcement of his doubt-based identity. Instead, each day he documented one unique aspect of his writing voice, focusing on what made his perspective valuable rather than how it measured against others. The first week was excruciating, Marcus admitted. I kept wanting to check my work against my literary heroes, but by the second week, something shifted. I started recognizing patterns in my writing that were distinctly mine, cadences and perspectives I couldn't have developed if I'd successfully imitated my favorite authors. This practice wasn't about boosting his confidence artificially. It was about creating a fundamentally new relationship with his creative identity. By focusing on his unique voice rather than perceived inadequacies, Marcus began breaking free from the comparison doubt cycle that had trapped him for nearly a decade. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but it was profound. Marcus not only submitted his manuscript to publishers, but also began work on a new project without the crippling uncertainty that had previously defined his creative process. His doubt didn't vanish. Instead, it evolved into a creative tool that helped him refine his unique perspective rather than abandoning it. We've come full circle in our exploration of self-doubt, and there's one final truth I need to share with you. The ultimate goal isn't to eliminate uncertainty from your life. It's to transform how you relate to it. Research shows that people who integrate doubt rather than fight it report significantly higher levels of self-acceptance and resilience. They pursue goals despite setbacks because they view self-doubt as an inherent part of growth. This integration approach is precisely what we've seen through Sarah and Marcus's journeys. When you stop treating uncertainty as the enemy and start viewing it as information-rich feedback, everything changes. Your doubt contains precise data about your fears, your values, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The question isn't whether you can destroy self-doubt, it's whether you're ready to form a new relationship with it. Are you willing to listen to what your uncertainty is actually telling you? Because when you do, that very same energy that once paralyzed you becomes the force that propels you forward into the life you've always imagined for yourself.